Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Talking More Wrestling. Larry here, More 365, and we're back for another week of professional wrestling action. And again, back for the second week is the indie reporter, the indie commentator, the only man to go to about independent wrestling, Brandon from Victims and Villains. Brandon, what's going on?
What's up, man? You can call me the Indie Darling if you want.
Yeah, I like, you know what? That's it. Brandon, the Indie Darling. Done. Forget Mike Quackenbush. All right? Forget Joey Ryan, the biggest man on the indie circuit, right here.
That's right. Bring it on, Quack.
I think I've seen Mike once. Mike Quackenbush once.
Oh, I did too, and it was at like 3 o'clock in the morning wrestling David Starr.
Recently, right?
Yeah, it was last year's spring break.
And, like, I remember him, like, in the late, well, maybe not late 90s, but definitely in the 2000s, early 2000s, being, like, the independent wrestler when, like, the indies started to become a thing years after the territories. It was it was an interesting time.
Chikara, like, kind of started right after territories kind of went away. Like, I think it was like 2002 or 3 is when they kind of kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing some weird stuff.
Yeah, you get some weird stuff on the indies, but that's what makes them fun. You know what I mean? So, and this week we got actually when this episode drops, we're going to be just maybe about an hour or so away from some of these shows, a day away, and I'm going to, as much as I can, I'll try and hold on, but definitely this is going to be Brandon's vehicle this week. I think he's going to be taking over with the indie shows, and let's kind of get right into it. Let's hit it hard and hit it fast.
All right, so let's go into GCW's Josh Barnett's Bloodsport number 2. Well, it's their third Bloodsport, but number 2 with him. First one was Matt Riddleson.
Oh, that's right. You know, I thought so. I remember a Bloodsport without Josh. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. All right.
Real quick story.
Yeah.
The original main event for that was Riddle and Low Key. Guess who didn't show up?
Low Key.
Yeah. So guess who replaced him?
I don't remember.
Suzuki.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
What kind of match was that?
Oh, it was awesome. There's no ropes. Dude, this is
oh, that's right.
Oh my god. I
forgot about that.
I was there too. It was nuts. My god, we were losing our minds.
How do you think Riddle's doing in NXT?
I think he's doing good, man. I think he. I don't think he'll ever be champion. I think he'll go up before that happens because he don't really need the title.
Well, you know, now that NXT, well, we've already gone off the rail. That's okay. As you know, now that NXT is going to be live for 2 hours every Wednesday, and this past Wednesday, Johnny Gargano pretty much said he's NXT for life. There may not be any more going up to the main roster. It may just be sticking with NXT, which I don't think is a bad thing.
I would rather stay there myself.
Yeah, totally. Especially with getting ready to go live. So, and they're going to have their competition with AEW, which we're definitely going to get into in a few weeks. But, so, and this card, it's interesting because I'm not that, no offense to GCW, I'm not that into it, but something about this card kind of struck me that I kind of want to see it.
These shows are interesting because, like I said, there's no ropes, and it's just shoot fights. And like last year's was, actually this past year, the one that had WrestleMania weekend was the first. It really was a breakout for some wrestlers like Davey Boy Smith. He's been good for a while. He had a match with Killer Cross that was incredible. Now, like, so he's back on this card. Killer Cross is back on this card. Like, it's just cool that Josh Barnett has like been able to like get this role to have this show again. But yeah, we're gonna go into it. The first couple of matches, I'll just go through real quick. Eric Hammer versus J.R. Kratos. Not familiar with either of them. Then you got a guy named Matt Mikaushi versus Roy Gulak. Roy Gulak is the brother of Drew Gulak.
Oh, okay.
So
yes,
it's cool to see him. And then The third match, you got Ring of Honor fame Sumi Sakai
Yes.
taking on the girlfriend of my boy Shannon Moore, Lindsay Snow.
Ooh. Wow. I'm sure they've had women's matches before, or is this the first one?
I think this might be the first women's match they've had.
That's going to be interesting. Sumi Sakai, I think Sumi Sakai is very, like, she can kick your butt if she has to.
Oh, I would mess with her.
Yeah. She doesn't look like she could, but she could.
Oh yeah. Well, that's not the only women's match on this card.
Oh, okay.
Really cool. The next one is Allison Kay versus Nicole Savoy, which that could be a good.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, Allison Kay is a hoss.
Yeah, no, she is. She's again. These women. It's not. It's not the '90s anymore. They're not really all fitness models anymore. Getting contracts. These women can kick butt proudly too.
Absolutely, man. This next one's interesting. You got Anthony Corelli, Cynthia Morella versus Simon Grimm.
Maybe that's the one I was thinking of, which is basically Santino Marella. Well, Simon Grimm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Simon Gotch.
Yes. Gotch Grimm. I guess now at this point, I've seen a lot of his on YouTube. He's definitely come out of a shell or whatever you want to call. Very far from what he was as the Vaudevillains. And I loved the Vaudevillains in NXT. And, I'm going to keep calling him Gotch. I apologize. Grimm, he always was tough. Even his gimmick as a Vaudevillain was like that strong man. But Santino is deceivingly tough because he knows some, I don't know which one, but he knows some sort of martial arts.
Yeah, he has that school. I can't think of what it's called now, but I've been hearing that he's not going to be like a goofy character at this.
I'm sure he's not.
Really.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to that. Like, I am stoked about that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Awesome. This next one I'm freaking excited for is Anthony Henry versus Zachary Wentz.
Okay.
Not your average like shoot wrestlers. They're more of like your like hybrid, like high flyer dudes. But those dudes can go. So that's gonna be really cool to see with no ropes.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, high flyers with no way to fly. That's gonna be thinking on their feet.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. After that, you get Davey Boy Smith Jr. versus Tom Lawler, which should be really good.
I like Tom Lawler. I've seen some of his work.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
And
that dude's really came a long way.
And Davey Boy Smith is, he's he could be a hothead. So that's what you got to be careful about in this stuff. I don't know who's worse, him or Teddy Hart. Sometimes,
well, like father, like son.
Basically, yeah. And I mean, remember, like when he took that dude down at the Hall of Fame, the guy who attacked Brett. Who knew of all the people? It was Scott Dawson you had to worry about, cold cocking the guy. But Davey was just right there in the worst outfit I've ever seen. But outside of what Doc Hendricks normally wears.
He borrowed that from Teddy Hart.
Oh, I'm sure he did. Absolutely sure. While Teddy was there rocking with his kitty.
You think Teddy Hart sits at home with his wife or whatever, wearing that same as that outfit he wears to shows, just hanging out,
just waiting to get the call.
Yeah, he's just chilling. And the Zubas just hanging out.
And the fanny packs. They'll rock in the fanny pack.
Yeah. He keeps the cigarettes in them. He just pulls them out.
I gotta say, when I helped work his table at Pro Wrestling Syndicate, his reputation preceded him, which he did not live up to, which is good. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh man, I gotta deal with this guy all night. But to be fair, he was cool. He was, not very talkative, but he was cool. I was like, all right, he's not that bad.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, he's not bad at all.
He's definitely humble. Yeah, he's humbled himself up a lot.
Yeah.
He's not, he used to be bad, but he's a lot better now.
And then later on that night, he took on AR Fox, and, the rest was history. Yeah, that was a good match.
That's cool.
You may or may not be able to see that match with me calling it soon.
Oh, man. Feeling hot spots?
Maybe.
I can't talk about it.
Keep it numb. Keep it mum. Mum's the word.
Next, we got a name I can't pronounce. Ikushia Minowara.
Okay.
There we go. I got it. Minowa. I'm not familiar with him. Versus Timothy Thatcher. I'm not familiar with Minowa, so I'm sure it'll be good. It's a Japanese guy. It's Thatcher.
Thatcher is ridiculous on the mat. I mean, Thatcher is just a machine. I saw.
Yeah, man.
I saw Timothy Thatcher, former Evolve champion. I saw him and Gulak in a match had to be about 40, 50 minutes. Did it go to time limit? No, I don't think it went Broadway. It was pure mat-based wrestling in a gymnasium that was easily 170 degrees.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yep. It was terrible and enjoyable at the same time.
It's the best ones. This next one's our main event, and originally the main event was supposed to be Josh Barnett versus John Moxley, but because his injury, his elbow, was it MRSA?
MRSA, yeah, it's like a very bad staph infection, I think.
Yeah, my mom has that.
Oh.
So to replace him, they got their dirty daddy, Chris Dickinson.
Ooh.
Chris Dickinson's a guy who deserves this spot. That dude's been working his butt off for years. Went through the ringer with Evolve. And then, are you familiar with Beyond Wrestling? I'm
beginning to become. I'm not going to say I discovered them, but I have been starting to follow them more and more.
They're so they do a weekly live show, like a TV show every week. They stream it live on independentwrestling.tv as a plug for them.
Absolutely, no problem here.
They had a promo code once. It was I hate MJF. I don't know if it still works. But if it does, you should try it. You get 2 weeks free.
That's MJF. That's a local boy out here. Come on now, Plainview, represent. That's the match that I was going to want to watch. Barnett versus Moxley. That's right.
Yeah.
So, and again, I take your word to heart when you talk about a lot of these independent wrestlers. So, this one sounds interesting.
Yeah, so Dixon's build to getting him some fame was it started with Beyond's weekly show, Uncharted Territory, which started the week of WrestleMania weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Where WrestleMania weekend he wrestled Tanaka at a Blackcraft show, and then he did this whole thing where he was coming out every week on Beyond show, calling out I want the best wrestlers, I want them. So they're sending him some of the best wrestlers. And then Beyond, they do a big show every year called Americana. And this year's Americana was him versus Daisuke Sekimoto.
Oh, wow.
And, dude, it was just absolutely incredible. It was such a good match. And so seeing him in this spot now with Barnett main event in the show, Dixon's a madman. He deserves everything. And I hope he gives Barnett a whooping because I want Dixon just to get all the way, man. I'm big on Dickinson, man. Huge on Dickinson.
Let me ask you a question. Do you sometimes find it maybe, and this is a strong word, but a crime that a lot of these matches that are amazing to watch on the indies basically will a lot of times just go unnoticed?
Yeah, you're asking me that.
And then, no, I know. And then you get some of these matches that a lot of people aren't crazy about, whether it's the dancing or the invisible grenade or the two guys, the tag team with the Pharaohs that do the hypnotizing, which I still love.
Oh yeah.
Or invisible wrestlers. Where that gets a lot of people saying, "Oh, that's why the indies are garbage," but because of that, they don't get to see these absolute gems in front of just hundreds of people that will be better than anything you've seen at WrestleMania, anything you've seen at Final Battle, anything you've seen at Battle for Glory.
That does irritate you because, whenever people have asked me, show me some good wrestling, okay, and they'll say, why is this in the gym? Same WWE. There was one person recently, I sat down with them and I showed them Quack and Butch versus Claudio. And they're like, why are you watching this? This is some, arm jam. I'm like, trust me, just watch the match. And after the match, they're like, dude, what the heck? I was like, I tell you.
And even right there, I'm sure some people listening right now is like, who's Claudio? Cesaro. You know, but
Oh, my bad.
no. I like it. No, I'm just saying though. That's the thing, you know, because a lot of guys and women who watch now may not know the product as it, you know, that there's other products. But that's why Brandon is here. That's why he's representing he's the indie darling on Talking More Wrestling, and that's why he's here talking shows like GCW and other ones that we have on tap this weekend.
That's right, man. I'm changing the game, and we're going to change promotions a little bit.
Uh-oh. All right, let's do it.
The newly acquired show for Access, Impact.
Yeah, let's talk
I'm
about.
pretty stoked on that.
Yeah, no, that's, you know, it's awesome, but I'm getting tired of Impact bouncing from channel to channel. But
yeah,
they've landed on a good one. You know, Access is really good. I doubt Access will get rid of New Japan then. At that point, right?
Yeah, well, I heard that the deal was coming up. It wasn't said if they were going to redo a deal or not.
All right. I mean, I hope so because it's easier to watch some of that Japanese. And plus, every now and again, when they're here in the U.S., they go live on Access, which makes it very convenient. But Impact in October, actually, I think right after Bound for Glory, they'll move officially to Access. I think you're the one that was asking me. Maybe the Tuesday slot that's going to be open since SmackDown's moving?
That's what I'm thinking. They haven't announced what slot. It'll be after Bound for Glory, though, when they put it on.
It's
that's a good call right there. Wait until Bound for Glory.
Oh yeah, of course.
Then go on the bigger channel.
Yeah. And you know, Impact. Let's face it, though, they should take Tuesday or Thursday because they're not going to be able to compete. Not right now. Maybe down the road, but not right now.
Oh, they have a good roster. I mean, like, we're getting to the roster here in just a second, but, like, they got a really awesome roster that I've started watching Impact again. I'm going to watch it tonight when we get done recording because it came on tonight. And I got Impact Plus. I can tell you this. It'll be real quick. I decided to go. I think I did tell you this about going back to the first TNA. Yeah, that's right. We talked about it. I'm on episode 3 right now, and wow.
It's like going back to watch Raw from episode 1 all the way back in '93.
I did that 2 years ago.
How far did you get?
I finished it.
You got through
all the way to the Attitude Era.
Wow. Okay, that's a few years.
Still working on it. All
right, fair enough. Respect. But some of those early ones are tough to get through.
The best match of all of them was, I think it was Jannetty and 1-2-3 Kid. No? Yeah.
In a tag match? When they won the titles? No, they won the titles at Royal Rumble.
No, Jannetty wrestled somebody on a Raw that I really enjoyed.
Like when they were in the Manhattan Center or after they left the Manhattan Center?
Manhattan Center, I think.
There was a match when there's one Intercontinental title defense against Bam Bam I quite enjoyed. And that was cool. When he wrestled Shawn and won the title.
That one was cool too. It might have been 1-2-3 I don't remember.
Fair enough.
It was. Well, didn't Kid wrestle Bret Hart on an episode of Raw?
He did. That's when. Did he turn heel at that point? He did for the title. I think he turned heel in that match.
What I'm thinking of. I don't know, but
how the hell?
Pretty cringy.
How are you confusing Marty Jannetty and Bret the Hitman Hart?
I thought Jannetty was pretty good. Look, I have opinions on Bret Hart. Okay.
So do I. I have very strong opinions about Bret Hart.
He's boring. Anyway. Let's get out of that before someone attacks me.
Finally, I got someone else who's not crazy about Bret Hart. It's about time.
No, I'm saying this and I'm ending it. Obviously, Owen is the better wrestler. Teddy Hart's better than Bret.
Wow. And with that, mic dropped. Let's move on. Impact Wrestling Victory Road. This is the last time the Indie Darling's going to be on the show, apparently.
Yeah, we get killed for that. I want to see Bret Hart do a springboard like 450. Do something like that.
He's lucky he can get through the ropes right now. Please.
That's true.
God.
There's not a whole lot announced for this card yet, but they're partnering up with the promotion in Oklahoma, so they'll probably throw some matches together tomorrow. But the announced card so far is Kira Hogan versus a wrestler named Desa Dorita, which I've heard that name, but I'm not familiar with her, really. But Kara Hogan, I mean, she's someone I've been following for a while that I've seen like, local promotions a few years ago. So I'm really stoked that she's like getting a bigger name for herself.
Yeah, I've seen her a few again on YouTube and stuff like that. It annoys me how anyone can use the word Hogan. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry, it doesn't make sense. Even Horace.
Yeah.
Horace Hogan should not have used Hogan back in the day.
I'm talking about Horace Hogan. I'm just into my podcast. But
What? I mean, is this a hostile takeover at this point?
yeah,
Holy cow.
This is a talking horse wrestling. Yeah.
Next thing I know, Horace Hogan walks in. What? Delivering my pizza.
He just sits down by me.
Oh, man.
We got Eddie Edwards taking on Rohit Rozier, which is a guy I don't like at all.
Really?
I love Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, Eddie Edwards is awesome. I did like the Wolves. I got to admit, I was a fan of the Wolves.
Dude. Oh, man. One of the best tag teams ever, like in my opinion. I love them, man. Speaking of tag teams, I'm not sure about this one. Sammy Callahan's wrestling Hawk.
Yeah, what I read...
I don't know if it's that Hawk.
No,
that Hawk?
I hope it's not that Hawk because that's going to be tough. I read this, and I'm like, Hawk? I'm like, wait a minute. He fell off the Titantron. It's like, again, Kira Hogan, Hawk. Like, what is going on here?
Well, I thought it was T-Hawk, but he's an AEW guy, so that's not him.
All right. Well,
so I don't know.
We will see. Tune in on Fight TV or Impact Plus.
For $7.99.
Yes.
Which is a pretty good deal.
Not a bad deal at all.
Next, we got TJP. Michael Elgin.
Elgin. I've always been a fan of Elgin. When I first started watching Ring of Honor, I gravitated toward Elgin because I'm not a big high fly. I think I'm not into the high flying matches, high spots, all the flippy doos and stuff. I'm not into that. But Elgin was just a straight powerhouse brick. I think he just lost the ROH title when I started watching Ring of Honor. And when I first saw him live, just his presence. And to see where he is now, to see him go through New Japan, to get to Impact, to get himself even in better shape than he was. I'm a big Elgin fan. And, to see the dichotomy between someone as the size of Elgin and like a cruiserweight like TJP, we'll see how that goes.
I think it'd be a good match. TJP's a guy who I'm kind of iffy on, but I love Elgin. I'm a big Elgin guy. Elgin's a guy who I didn't like at first, but he grew on me.
I was big. I was a TJ Perkins fan all the way back to Evolve, and when he won the Cruiserweight, and I was shocked he won the Cruiserweight Classic. So I was very happy when that happened. Well,
all the neckbeards wanted Sabre and Kota Ibushi in the finals, but you saw what happened with them too.
Yeah. Oh well. You can't win them all.
I know, real quick. How pissed would Sabre and Ibushi would have been if they had known? Oh yeah, you're going all the way, but you're also going to be pigeonholed on Raw.
What?
So 2-minute matches.
Yeah, that's Vince does what he does.
Sabre would be like, "Oh, well, I'm out.
Unbelievable.
See ya."
But we're starting to see a lot more cruiserweights making it to the main roster, so there is some hope. So,
this next match, two guys who I love a lot, the North, Ethan Page and Josh Alexander, defending the belts against Rich Swann and a guy named Fuego del Sol. I'm not familiar with Fuego del Sol. I can't say his name.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Rich Swann I'm familiar with. And, yes, the North, again. I loved his theme song in WWE.
I did too.
Ethan Page, again, been following him since Evolve with his feuds with Johnny Gargano near the end of Gargano's run. I'm not familiar, though, too much with Page's partner, but I watched the match when they won the tag titles in that weird brewery. And, which I just thought was a cool setting. And, I'm very impressed with the tag team. Canadian tag teams, they especially in Impact, with Scott D'Amore in charge, he's going to love those Canadian tag teams.
Oh, I know. Well, I'll give you a little, this quick history on Josh Alexander. So, Ethan Page has a promotion he runs in Canada called Alpha One. Are you familiar with Alpha One?
I've heard of it.
Solid stuff. You can actually watch all their shows on IWTV. IWTV, just real quick, $9.99 a month. Tons of indie promotions from the Southeast, Midwest, the North, like this all around, and they have Alpha One on there. So it's more than worth your money because you get weekly stuff live. But Josh Alexander and Ethan Page started teaming together in that promotion under the name of Monster Mafia. So they've been in a team for years before Impact. So like those dudes are like best friends. Like, so it was a no-brainer to have those dudes like tag, like, as they know each other so well. So I think they're going to be a really big tag team for Impact going on TV for sure.
Right.
Ethan Page can talk.
Yes, absolutely. His gimmick in Evolve when he was like trying to get the fans back on his side, like apologizing to them and everything. I love that work. Yeah, man,
he's awesome. This next match, I feel like Larry is a fan of this one right here. Defending the Knockouts title is Taya Valkyrie versus Rosemary. I don't know why, but I feel like you're a Taya guy.
Actually, I'm not that crazy about Taya Valkyrie.
Good.
Rosemary is starting to grow on me.
I love Rosemary. And, the Decay a few years ago, her and Crazy Steve and Abyss. Yeah. It was Abyss. Dude, that was they walked out to Marilyn Manson. Like that was awesome.
Their feud with the Hardys and on the compound. And I just saw a picture of Rosemary recently without her makeup. I'm like, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, she really is. Yeah. That'd be good. They've had matches before. They're really good. I really would love to see Rosemary walk out on that one.
Me too.
But the next match is Moose taking on Stephen Bonner, which I think is a UFC fighter.
I'm still trying to figure that one out. Moose. My first encounter with Moose was, again, Ring of Honor. I went to Final Battle at Terminal 5, which I thought was at JFK International Airport. Turns out to be some small rinky-dink club in New York City. And I remember me and my father went. We sat front row of Final Battle 2015, maybe? 2014. And I told my father, I'm like, be mindful, watch your knees, because they're going to throw them into the guardrails. And he's used to WWE. So they're not going to do that. I'm like, just watch your knees. And I forgot who Moose was taking on. It was his partner. They broke up. So Moose takes the guy, and like right before he flings him into the guardrail, I'm like, watch your knees, and just boom, and just spilt all the beer in front of us. And then he threw the guy in again, and like me and my dad both, because the floor got slick on our chairs, just slid back from the impact. We're both big dudes. And I was like, whoa, Moose, this guy's got some power.
Was it Artie Evans?
I'm trying to remember. He had like a weird get up. It was the Final Battle that was Adam Cole and wow, why can't I remember his name?
Briscoe?
Yeah. Not Mark Briscoe. God. Jay Briscoe. Jay Briscoe. In a fight without honor. And
I remember that.
Yeah, I was there. And
I watched that on pay-per-view with football.
And so that was wild. But this other guy, and it's weird, a lot of these MMA fighters, not weird, but a lot of these, if he is an MMA fighter, are starting to make their wrestling debuts. We're going to mention one a little bit later on a different card. I don't know if it's because of Brock Lesnar, because of Ronda Rousey, because they figure, all right, it's probably going to be a little bit easier than actually getting into an MMA octagon. But, we'll see what these guys are up to. Let's face facts. This guy's going into a promotion that had, Pac-Man Jones, whatever his name was, one half of the TNA NWA Tag Champions with R-Truth. So...
Oh, man. I just got to where Monty Brown debuted.
The alpha male.
Hey, man. Yes, that's Impact. I'm sure more stuff will be announced probably like tonight, later on.
Okay.
I bet Impact, the episode probably put I haven't read anything. We don't read ahead here on this podcast.
No, there is no spoilers at all. Actually, I think they went on Twitch because I got a mention of it like 10 o'clock or something Eastern, so I think we already missed that.
I mean, it's probably on right now, actually.
Probably.
But before we get to the Clash, let's talk about some New Japan
All right.
for a minute.
Why not?
So, yeah, I mean, we got so much wrestling to watch. Might as well cover it all.
Oh, let me ask you. Speaking of New Japan, have you packed your bags to try and head north for the New Japan meet and greets that may or may not feature a certain Tanahashi?
Oh yeah, I'm leaving tonight.
Bro, can I tell the story of what I told you when I ran into him outside of the Garden after the G1?
Yeah.
Like, I knew you were a fan of Tanahashi, and for those of you who are aware, you know, the G1 was at Madison Square Garden, so me, my buddies, and my dad went across the street to the Hotel Pennsylvania. Just, it'd be easier to get an Uber at that point, because it's across the street. And I just look over, and there's like a giant 6'2" Japanese man with long hair just standing there. And I look at my buddy, actually Anthony Chu, the host of the Yin and the Yang podcast, and I'm like, Ant, that's Tanahashi. And, like, no one's really recognizing him. I'm like, well, you know, go get a picture. And then I texted you, and I'm like, oh, you know, hey, I just ran into Tanahashi. And you almost, like, FaceTimed me and was like, oh, my God, Tanahashi. Gotta get him. And I'm like, what? What's going on? And that's when I discovered your obsessiveness with,
Yeah, I love him.
with Tanahashi.
My favorite obsession right now with him is on his Instagram. He keeps posting pics of his poodle. Have you seen these pics? That's the happiest dog I've ever seen in my life.
I have not seen
He's
that.
like smiling. But if I was his dog, I'd be smiling too.
Oh, good Lord! All right, let's get back to the shows. I'm sorry, that was my fault, folks.
Oh no, it's okay. So the 15th of this weekend, Sunday morning. I don't know how
however it works.
In America,
yeah.
it's Sunday morning. They get Destruction card in Bipu. The matches are just tags, and then the main events are, which I hope these guys will lose eventually, but Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa defending the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Belts versus Yoshihashi and Tomohiro Ishii.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Ishii's toughest man in that match.
He really is. Almost toughest man in the world.
Almost. And when Dan Severn dies, he will be. If he does.
Can I tell you, I may or may not have had an opportunity to interview Dan Severn.
Oh my God.
I'm like, what? I'm like, isn't he kind of boring? And they're like, no, not at all, actually. I was like, oh, okay.
I saw that man wrestle at midnight, too.
Jeez. Unbelievable. He was like NWA champion for like 2 years.
Gold deserved. I love that, Severn. Speaking of champions, we're going back to Tanahashi. He's defending the British heavyweight title against Zack Sabre Jr.
Oh boy!
Probably the 20th time this year.
Yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. like flipped out last time. So when he lost the title, yeah, they've had a good feud. I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. I quite enjoyed their match at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, they're like even though I hate the guy, they're modern day Brett and Sean. If you think about it.
Okay, I can see that. The cocky young Zack Sabre Jr. and the consummate veteran of Tanahashi, especially with
except for the rest was reversed.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I was gonna say even though with all his injuries and stuff, but should be a good match.
Oh yeah, always. Real quick, have you noticed that Sabre Jr. has been blaming all of his losses on the Prime Minister?
I heard about that. Yeah, unbelievable, great gimmick, but unbelievable.
I love it. And then Monday morning we got Destruction in Kagoshima, where I forgot these titles existed. El Fantasma and Taiji Ishimori is defending the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Belts against Robert Eagles and Will Ospreay, which should be a really good match.
That should be interesting, yeah.
Should be a sprint. I mean, there's been a storyline going on with Eagles, and like he turned on Bullet Club and joined Chaos, which was cool. And Eagles and Fantasma and Ospreay, like they all wrestled in the UK together.
Okay.
Like they're all buddies, and Ishimori's just there.
Yeah, he's just there for the ride.
He's there to hang out. And then we got defending the Intercontinental Championship. No. This isn't that, actually. I read it wrong. Defending his contract for Wrestle Kingdom main event, Kota Ibushi versus Kenta.
Wow. And Kenta is I believe he's the current never openweight champion.
He is.
Okay.
He is.
All right. That makes sense to defend that. I mean, they win it so early in the year. You know, it's not like the Rumble and you got 2 months later it's Mania. But that should be an interesting match. I still think 2020 is going to be the year of Kota Ibushi.
I agree with you. Like, I think this match would be a lot better than their G1 match because they have the floor. Like, this is their main event, you know. I think it'd be really good. I just hope Kenta doesn't break Kota's neck. If Naito don't, someone will.
Naito will get him on day 2.
He will. So that's it for New Japan. Do you want to talk about AAA before we go in?
Yeah, let's talk about AAA real quick because I will be attending, actually. AAA invades New York Sunday, tomorrow, if you're listening to this podcast when it actually drops. And it's been almost a secret as to what these matches are going to be. But, you know, I was like, you know what? The ticket was inexpensive. I had some credit on Ticketmaster. I'm like, what the heck? I'm not that far from the Garden. 4 matches that I know of. The Reina de Reinas AAA Championship will be defended as Tessa Blanchard will take on Taya Valkyrie. I'm not even going to try and pronounce this in Spanish. The Doubles Championships will be on the line as the Lucha Brothers, who, coming off a successful title defense at All Out, will take on LAX, which has probably got to be one of their last matches for this because Impact is basically presenting Lucha Libre, AAA.
Yeah, this will be probably their last match as LAX.
Yeah. In a 6-man tag, Texano Jr., Taurus, and Scorpion King, not The Rock, will take on Brian Cage, Psycho Clown, and making his U.S. debut as a AAA luchador, former MMA heavyweight champion, Cain Velasquez. That's going to be interesting. Again.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, MMA guys coming in. And it's interesting to see them, you know, not sign with a major organization like WWE or something. Because I think once you get Brock and Ronda, who else are you going to get from there? And then in the main event, it will be Blue Demon Jr. versus Dr. Wagner Jr. A lot of second-generation superstars in AAA. I'm looking forward to this. I've always wanted to go to other wrestling. Anthony Rippo, my co-host on the Retro Gamers, he got to go to a New Japan show in Osaka. So, he got to experience that. You know, it's one thing to go here in the U.S. Like, New Japan's coming to the ECW arena. It's going to be at the Hammerstein Ballroom, I think somewhere in Boston, in a couple of months. They're going to L.A. as well. But that's an American crowd. But he got to witness it in a pure Japanese crowd, and he said it was not in a bad way. It was just weird. It was interesting. It was quiet for the most part. So I hope to go to Wrestle Kingdom in a few years. I'm actually planning on going to Tokyo in a few years. But on the flip side, Lucha Libre, which has been around forever. No offense, I'm not going to Mexico. So basically, I'll take it. I'll go to the show here in New York. It's a AAA show, so it is a Lucha Libre show. It's going to be at the theater at MSG. I think they shot for the moon and tried to hit the stars or something like that, whatever the saying is, by trying to get the main arena in MSG, which was not going to happen. The only reason why Ring of Honor New Japan got it was because it was WrestleMania weekend. That was it. But the Hulu Theater, which holds, I think, about 3,000 people or so, should still be a good crowd for this. So I'm looking forward to a pure AAA wrestling show. I'm excited.
Yeah, that'd be fun. You should get Anthony to go to a PWG show.
I would love to. I'm trying to figure out how far. I don't think they perform that far from him. I think next time I head out to LA, I mean, even though I almost killed him with wrestling last time I went, he was. I mean, he worked for the WWE too, and he's a wrestling fan. And boy, I wore him out going to going to Survivor Series. But
well, let's plan on something. I want to go to a BOLA, Battle of Los Angeles, so bad. How about one year we tried to make it happen? I'll travel out, you travel out, we'll all go.
I'm game. We can definitely plan for it. When do they usually hold it? What time of the year?
Like late September, early October-ish usually.
So, all right, so we can definitely plan. You know,
yeah,
I'm game. I'm game
because that's like the Independence WrestleMania. Well, kind of like it's part of like it's a huge event in the Indies.
Oh yeah,
Battle of Los Angeles.
Absolutely. No, try. Good luck getting tickets.
It'd be so cool. Yeah, I know they sell so fast. Like, boom, man. So,
but we'll try. We'll try. But speaking of which, let's talk about the big dogs. No pun intended. But considering the fact that I completely forgot this pay-per-view was happening because I bought AAA tickets, we got Clash of Champions this Sunday only on the WWE Network.
For $9.99.
Yes, still for now. I don't see any more commercials on the network, so I don't know how long that $9.99 is going to last. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
So what do we got? We got every title is on the line.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll start from the bottom and make my way up here. I guess these are I put how when they're announced, but so I'll just start here. So we got AJ Styles defending the U.S. title against Cedric Alexander.
I was very happy to see Cedric get the win in the main event on Raw at Madison Square Garden. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Especially in a star-studded match. Even though, on a side note, in hindsight, I think the women's tag match should have main evented Raw, but be that as it may. The Cedric Alexander and AJ, they're going to go. They are two wrestlers. I think it's going to be an exciting match. I don't think they're going to give the title to Cedric, but it's going to be a damn good match.
Yeah, I think it will be, man. Give them time, let them just go out there and do their thing. It'd be awesome. Next up, we got Larry's girl, Alexa Bliss, and Nikki Cross defending the women's tag belts versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, who I read that as Jordan Devlin.
Wait, what?
Sonya Deville, I read as Jordan Devlin. I was like, wait, Jordan Devlin's in there?
Wait a minute. Don't? Oh, boy. Yes, the goddess, Alexa Bliss. Oh, dear Alexa. I hope they defend. I mean, I loved the Iconics, but I definitely want to see tag titles defended. Fire and Desire, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Great tag team. They're coming along. But I definitely hope to see Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross retain the tag titles.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, man. Next up, we got Roman Reigns taking on Eric Rowan in an DQ match. No stairs involved.
This isn't a stairs match? That weigh 180 pounds apparently, or whatever they're saying. Oh, boy. Yes, I think like the one match that doesn't have a title on it. I like Eric Rowan. Actually, when I was at the Garden, I forgot who I was talking to. I was probably talking to the guy who works for a wrestling website when I stared right at him and said, I don't go to wrestling websites. And just shoot myself in the foot. But I told him, I'm like, who knew between Eric Rowan and Luke Harper that Rowan would be the one that would still be around?
I don't want to talk about it.
And I like Rowan. I mean, I like Harper, but I like Rowan.
I don't like Rowan. I'm a Harper guy. I'm a Birdie Lee fan.
I figured. Damn you and your indie names. But, figure we can give this one to Roman and, we'll see, continue on this thing. Do you think it's a facade between Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan? You think Daniel's in on it, even though he got chokeslam through a table?
Yeah, I think it's all. It's all definitely something big.
All right, interesting.
Maybe a Luke Harper return.
I hate Luke Harper's tweets.
All of them. Or Saturday.
You know what that means? I don't know what it means. Every day, I don't know what it means.
His Instagram's weirder. He posted a picture. He posted a picture of him and his wife and kid, and he was like, "Hey, Larry, look all we did today." Who's Larry? Is it you?
Well, I'm going to try and get him on the show.
Picture is, "Hey, Larry." Yeah. But next up, we got this should be a good match. Becky Lynch defending the Raw Women's title against Sasha Banks.
I'm telling you, Sasha making her return big time. I think she needed those few months off to kind of recoup. A lot of times they need to do that. I think she cut an awesome promo when she came back, talking about how, she wanted nothing to do with that tag title match at Mania, and when you go back and watch, you can see it on her face. She wanted nothing to do with that tag title match at Mania. I actually think Sasha is going to win. I think she's going to beat Becky. I think she's going to beat Becky for the title.
If she don't, she's going to spell out AEW in the era.
I'm waiting for Renee Young to do that.
Someone's going to do it. It might be this guy in his next match. Nakamura defends the IC title against The Miz.
You saying The Miz is going to go to AEW?
No, I mean Nakamura. He's get out of there. He's getting buried.
I know it's terrible. It's how can I put this politely? There may or may not have been rumors that Vince had always said, if you can't talk, you can't make green or something like that. That's why he's usually not crazy about wrestlers who don't cut promos properly, I guess. Short of Brock, who has a mouthpiece. But, he even got Sabu to talk and cut a promo. So, you're right. You're right. Nakamura, he was U.S. champion, then he was off TV as U.S. champion for a while. He's Intercontinental champion. He's kind of been off TV a little bit as Intercontinental champion. It's weird. I don't have a problem with Shinsuke not winning the title at Mania last year, because it was still a good match between him and Styles. And that's fine. Sometimes some guys just don't get a chance to win the title. But you're right. It's Nakamura. Again, he was amazing in NXT. He comes up to the main roster, does great, and then kind of just Vince doesn't know what to do with him.
Yeah, I mean, Vince has never been successful with any Japanese stars, except for Yokozuna. Just kidding. He's Japanese.
Are you sure about that? Yeah, it's I don't know. It's weird. Hopefully when Triple H takes over, a lot of that changes. But hey, look, if it wasn't for Vince, we wouldn't be doing this podcast right now. So
Vince Senior, you mean?
No, I would say Vince Jr. If it was Vince, I was going to say Vince Senior, we'd still be in territories.
Hey, we'd still be talking about Terry Funk's 50th retirement.
I'll never retire. No, you're right. You won't.
Yeah, you really won't. Next up, we got the New Day, Big E, and Consequences Creed. Xavier Woods. Wait, are they the SmackDown Tag Champions?
Yeah, that's SmackDown Tag Champions. Yeah.
When did this happen?
God, they won it like a pay-per-view or two. Wait, didn't they win it at SummerSlam?
Big E and Xavier?
Yeah. I know. Usually Xavier...
I'm the indie guy, okay?
Usually Xavier was the one who was losing the title. Like, their first couple of runs, Xavier was purely the manager of the New Day, except for when they had to lose the titles, and then that's when Xavier would be in the match, because he'd be the one that loses the titles. But at least lately they've been... They were... Yeah.
Wow.
And they're taking on the Revival.
Yeah. I'm baffled. I don't remember this.
Wow. The indie darling is stumped by the main roster, but hey, we'll take it.
Well, not in a good way. I don't remember this at all.
What? Oh, boy. All right. Well, be that as it may, I think actually the Revival, is going to win the tag titles. Which I hope so.
Get out of there.
Well, you're right. Another tag team that
Sorry, I gotta remember.
Yeah, but they've been teaming with Randy Orton lately, and it's been pretty cool with the three of them. It's been a good tandem.
FTRKO.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Next is the main event, in my opinion. Drew Gulak defends the Cruiserweight title against Alberto Carlito and Lince Dorado. Alberto Carlito is a guy, I was there for his debut match in 205 Live. It was in Birmingham, Alabama.
Really?
And he wrestled Buddy Murphy. I was there.
Nice. He's good. I like
it.
It
was boring.
What's the matter?
The crowd chanted.
I know. Look.
I was like, shut up, people.
Bro, I'm telling you, the worst thing about wrestling nowadays is wrestling crowds. It's terrible. If you even have an inkling to chant boring at a wrestling show, you don't deserve to be at a wrestling show. I don't care what organization it is.
I agree, man. And the crowd base here in Alabama, it's not very indie-rific. It's a very... I like to call these promotions mom and pop promotions.
I agree.
Outlaw promotions,
Okay.
And that's what the crowd is here. There might be a handful of us. There might be 50 people in South Alabama who are diehard wrestling fans. The rest are just mom and pop wrestling fans.
Bring the kids to a show or something.
Yeah. So when you're the reason why people stayed was because the dark match main event was actually AJ Daniel Bryan. And,
this is a shoot, folks. He's not making that up. He's legitimately.
Yeah,
God help us if we talk about Aleister Black.
Tommy? Thomas?
That was like at SmackDown at the Garden. The dark match was the B team against the Fiend, which basically got people to stay. More for the Fiend. I unfortunately had to leave early, right as soon as SmackDown was over. I wanted to stay for 205. You have no idea how bad I wanted to. I just couldn't. I ended up being some great matches. I know. Well, I've seen them before, but
in the Garden.
I know. Well, that's I know. I'm never going to see that again. But this match at Clash of Champions should be phenomenal. I love Drew Gulak. Always have.
He's one of my favorites, man. He's a guy who, when I first saw him in Evolve, it didn't take me but 5 minutes. I was like, that's my guy. He's just, catch point. I have the shirt in my closet.
And his match with Riddle at 10th Anniversary Evolve was fantastic.
Oh my gosh, it's in my top 10 of the year. Next, we'll go to a match that probably won't be in my top 10 because
is it even on your radar?
Probably not. Kofi Kingston defends the WWE Championship versus Randy Orton.
Randall Kenneth Orton. The three most dangerous letters. Is it Keith or was it Kenneth? It could be Keith. It's probably Keith. I don't know. It's Randy. It's funny. I was not at the Garden 10 years ago when this whole feud started between Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston. The whole stupid thing. And when Kofi put him through the table, I actually, unfortunately, just was one of the few Garden events I wasn't at. Meanwhile, side note, when Austin on Monday on Raw was talking about all his things that he's done at the Garden, I'm like, I wasn't there when he stunned Vince. I wasn't at SummerSlam 98 when he took on The Undertaker. I'm like, how many Austin events did I miss at the Garden? Because during college, I didn't have the money to go to the Garden and stuff. I was like, son of a gun, I'm terrible. But it was cool to see Kofi and Randy. I do like their feud. The crowd's definitely behind Randy Orton, which I'm shocked. I think it's going to be a good match. I'm shocked Kofi's been champion this long. So I think at this point, everything's borrowed time.
I think there's going to be a screw finish. I think this is going to end in Hell in a Cell.
Okay. I can see that.
Carry it on.
I can see that.
Some kind of DQ with the Revival, I'm sure. I don't know. I'm kind of over it because this is what I want. I want a heel Ali. But right now, it's not a heel Ali. Just Ali didn't get his shot. He didn't.
He
took his spot.
Yep.
Ali win it. Let him be the transitional champion. Why not?
What? Hey, look, Zack Ryder was IC champ for a day, but he's still in the record book as IC champ.
Let him be WWE champion just once so he can be Triple Crown champion. That's all I want. That's all I want. Just let it happen. Just for a day.
You gotta get that freelance wrestling on the front page with Ali.
Yeah, he's got to get there. So next match is another. Well, I'll get into this because I don't mind. Seth Rollins defending the Universal title against Braun Strowman. He does not deserve PWI #1. Said it. Okay.
Wow.
Goodbye.
Wait a minute now. I'm going to start losing listeners. There may be some listeners who are who are more WWE than indie. You're introducing the indies.
He's a great wrestler.
At least you didn't call him Tyler.
Oh yeah, Tyler Black.
I'm looking forward to this match. I like the idea of them defending the tag titles earlier in the evening, and then they're fighting for the Universal title.
Wait, what? What have I missed?
Where have you been for the last few weeks? They're tag champions, right?
ECW Arena? Yeah, I knew that.
Okay, so they're defending the Raw tag titles earlier in the evening against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. And then regardless of that outcome, they wrestle later on in the evening for the Universal title.
Look, I've been in the bingo halls here watching wrestling. I've missed out on them. So.
And don't get me started on the fact that Ziggler and Roode won an 8-team tag team turmoil match that featured 7 legitimate tag teams, and the one that actually dominated the turmoil and won was Ziggler and Roode.
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't realize that. Well, I get back to Rollins. I honestly, PWI 500 to me, I don't take it serious anymore.
I used to. I remember I used to. Yeah.
That's a shoot on my part. I just say the Rollins thing. That's what people, the whole Rollins and Ospreay thing that went on, But just me being who I am, I would think that spot should go to an Okada or an Ospreay.
I agree. I hear you. I don't agree. I hear you.
Rollins has been the redeeming quality of the main roster. I'm just being honest. For me, he has been the redeeming quality. He does what he can. I didn't like his little Twitter thing with the Ospreay stuff because he definitely didn't know what he was saying. Ospreay definitely did the best.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember Pete.
And then Nick Gage chimed in. Did you see that?
Oh, please! You don't want Nick Gage chiming in on anything. I'm sure he just dropped.
It's very vulgar.
I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure. I remember picking up PWI back in the day, and that's how I started learning who these other guys are.
Mm-hmm.
So we got those 2 matches. We got the King of the Ring finals.
Yeah, that's on Raw. I do know that.
Wait, that's not a Clash of Champions?
No, they moved it to Raw. They announced it on SmackDown.
Oh, well, I didn't hear the commentary. All right. Could have sworn it was at Clash. Okay. Fair enough. Poor Chad Gable.
So the last... Yeah, I think he's going to win. I don't know, man. Corbin should win probably because he can do a lot with it.
Let me ask you a question. Do you like Corbin as a heel?
Oh, yeah.
There were so many guys... Yeah. When at the Garden, again, I was talking to that guy who works at the website. I'm not going to promote the website. And he was like, "Oh, Corbin sucks." I'm like, "Why does he suck?" It's like he can't wrestle. I'm like, "Do you hear this crowd? They're booing the daylights out of him. He's doing his job, and he's doing his job properly."
I really differ. I don't think he's a 5-star wrestler, but the dude can go. I've seen him have good matches with people.
I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying he's catch as catch can or anything like that, or it's going to be a Mac Classic.
He's definitely not.
No, but he is a tremendous heel. The people are booing. If the people found him boring, you would hear a pin drop. That you don't want. Whether it's a cheer or a boo, and he's getting loud boos. To me, he is a tremendous heel. He's doing his job properly. I quite enjoy. And actually, it's weird to say, since he was GM, I actually think he's improved on the mic because, again, he gets at you. He gets under your skin. That's what he should do. He doesn't get under your skin as bad as MJF, but he does get under your skin.
MJF. Well, here's a match that I'm just going to be honest. I'm not a fan of either person, but it's gonna be a good match regardless. I'm gonna suck it up and enjoy it. Bayley defends her SmackDown Women's title against Charlotte Flair.
We're starting to see the 4 horsewomen now. Just starting to, now that Sasha's back, I'm happy to see the 4 of them go. It's kind of weird. I don't know now. Is Bayley a full heel? Is she a face? Is Charlotte a full heel? Is she a face? The only one I know is that Becky is a face. That's heel, and Sasha's a heel. But I like heel Bayley. I think her wacky, wavy, inflatable tube people should either have frowns on them or should just all be black if she's going to be a heel. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And but it's nice to see these 4 women getting back the spotlight again, because really I think these 4 women helped the women's evolution. I know some people will disagree with me on that, but I think those 4, and if they can get to a point where they can lead up to the return of Ronda Rousey and finally get the 4 horsewomen versus the 4 horsewomen, because I don't know your feelings on her, but Shayna Baszler is one of my favorites in NXT.
Yeah, she's growing on me, but she's dropping that belt to Rhea Ripley one day.
Oh yeah, no, it's about time. I mean, she's been women's champion for almost a year with a gap. When Kyrie was champion, and but of those 4 women, and including against Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler's got the best talent as far as mic skills. Ronda was getting better, but Shayna was doing it longer. But I just absolutely love Shayna, and it goes back to me loving that kind of ground and pound, not as much high flying.
Well, no offense to any Ronda Rousey wrestling fans, but Shayna to me did it right.
What?
She worked her butt off. She didn't jump right into it. She worked in the Indies for a while. I know Ronda has a big name and everything, but I just kind of felt like Ronda. I don't know, man. Like when she won PWI last year, I didn't like that because that
was pure name.
Indie fan to me.
Pure name.
Yeah. It's indie fan to me. Like I just think you need. Sorry,
that's all right.
Big wrestling fan. I guess you knew we were talking about wrestling.
Yeah, there you go.
I would have called in.
You knew. We have a new call-in segment. Hello, you're on the air.
But I don't know. I know that's weird to say that because Ronda is Ronda, but text him.
Power of editing.
That just bothered me.
I can hear you. And I think that's pretty much it for Clash, right? The 24/7 title might be defended. We'll see. It should be at some point. But I'll be watching Clash probably on the train ride home from Madison Square Garden.
I'll watch it Monday because I got to work. I got work all night. So
fair enough.
Second job, so.
On top of it, listen, this is your number 1 job, being the indie darling on Talking More Wrestling.
Yeah.
All right? And you are now the consummate professional, whereas I just realized I'm using the wrong microphone. You're still going to hear me, but I'm not going to come in as clear as I thought I was, which is fantastic. Oh, my God, I'm doing this for 5 years. I think I got to get it right. I don't even need this anymore, really. That's basically, I think, those are the big shows this weekend, right?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So which show are you looking forward to most?
Probably Bloodsport.
That's what I was thinking. Again, as weird as it sounds, I'm looking forward to AAA because it's a new experience.
Oh, yeah. And you're going to be there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got the cheap seats all the way in the back row, but I'll still be there.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
And I guess we'll call it at that point. We'll start to wrap this up. And Brandon, where can everybody find you?
Instagram at The Change of the Times, Twitter, Braden W. Miller, and Harper. I had Mexican food a second ago.
Good to know.
Victims of Villains, doing, I think, what am I doing next for Victims of Villains? I don't know, just go subscribe and you'll see.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome stuff. And, of course, you can, wherever you're listening to this right now, you're listening to podcasts, and you can check it out on my YouTube page as well. You can find me everywhere, basically, at More365, MOHR. Subscribe, wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Podcoin, whatever app you use, a 5 stars, a thumbs up, whatever it's going to be. Definitely do that for this show. And, of course, all the shows on my network, Retro Gamers Podcast, the Yin and the Yang Podcast, the Better Half Podcast, more of the same. And, of course, my newest Instagram, More Pop Vinyls, where when I'm very bored, I'll just take pictures of my pop vinyls and post them up because I'm a sad, sad person. And with that, remember, folks, go check out wrestling, whether it's WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan, Evolve, GCW, anywhere. Remember, especially support indie wrestling, support independent wrestling. You never know who you're going to see for the first time. You never know who you're going to see for the last time. What do you got?
Support your local. I've never told the story on here. I just thought about it. I need to tell it.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
So, my mom and pop promotion, like I call them, Outlaw, whatever. There was a promotion, I actually called GCW, Global Championship Wrestling. They're defunct now because the booker was a piece of crap. But when I was in high school, me and my papa used to go every once a month. And for 4 months, we saw a tag team called the Samoan SWAT team.
Uh-oh.
Or Soldiers. It was one of the two.
It was probably... Samoan SWAT team may have been a little before your time.
So it was Samoan Soldiers.
Okay.
And guess who they were?
Who were they?
Jimmy and Jay.
There you go. The Usos. See, you never know.
They used to wrestle 50 minutes from my house. And now, look at them.
I used to go to Deer Park, New York, out here on Long Island. I saw guys Plasma, Maverick. You know him today as Trent Beretta and Tony Nese. Actually, I've seen... what were their names during the Indies and NYWC? It's going to bug me now. Well, either way, it's Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Oh, it's going to bug me. Because the NYWC used to use, for their tag titles, the replica ECW tag titles. But they put like a logo sticker over it. And then Hawkins and Ryder, like their gimmick was purple. And the back of the replica belt is like a purple snakeskin. So when they won the NYWC tag titles, they just flipped the leather. I'm like, that's actually really cool. And it looked really sweet, awesome. Too. Tried doing it to mine. I almost broke mine. But, you never know who you're going to see, like I said, for the first time, for the last time. So support independent wrestling and check out Victims and Villains. Check out Brandon. Check out all my stuff as well. And we will catch you next time as we continue to talk more wrestling. Catch you guys later.